Ursuline Academy. I'm Campbell Kennedy here with
AF2
to bring you today's news. Stick around to hear about the weather, International Women's Day, the word of the day, Daisy Bates, all about bananas, Obama, an ice hotel, the National Day today, a veteran, Compton Heights, and Schugener Truth. Let's jump right in.
Today is International Women's Day. Throughout the world, women are celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women throughout history. In 1911, Austria, Denmark, Germany, and Switzerland celebrated the first Women's Day. The tradition continued throughout the years until in 1975, the United Nations celebrated the first International Women's Day. Each year after that, the UN announces the theme for each year. This year is Be Bold for Change. Today you can celebrate the history of women as well as helping us move into the future by voicing your opinions and being bold for change.
Thanks, Ava, for that new information. Let's add one more word to our vocabulary and see if you can use it. Today's word of the day is shunpike. A shunpike is a side road taken instead of a turnpike or expressway to avoid tolls or to travel at a leisurely pace. It is also used as a noun, or you can even use it as a verb. A way to use this word in a sentence would be, he did not for a moment think she would return home using the shunpike, for it was a rough road, not fit for a bicycle.
Today our historical figure is Daisy Bates. Daisy was born on November 11, 1914 in Arkansas. Daisy married Christopher Bates, and together they started a newspaper by the name of Arkansas State Press. Daisy became the leader of the Arkansas chapter of the NAACP and played a huge role in the battle against segregation. Daisy tells us about this fight against segregation in her novel, The Long Shadow of Little Rock.
Daisy helped 9 African American students attend an all-white Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. We know this group of students became the Little Rock Nine, as we know them today. Daisy knew that was what she was doing. Daisy knew that she was going to face some challenges, yet she kept pushing on. Bates was protested by groups of white people and held her head high. Daisy died on November 14, 1999 in Little Rock, Arkansas, where her passion was.
Did you guys know that bananas are curved upwards because they grow towards the sun? We didn't. The scientific name for a banana is a Musa sampitum, which means fruit of the wise man. Hawaii is the only place in the U.S. where bananas grow commercially, although at one time they were also grown in Southern California and Florida.
The overwhelming majority of bananas Americans eat come from countries in Latin America and South America, including Costa Rica, Ecuador, Colombia, Honduras, Panama, and Guatemala. Our last fact is the Banana Club Museum, located on Highway 111 in Mecca, California, just south of Palm Springs. It houses the world's largest collection devoted to any one fruit. It contains more than 17,000 banana items, most of which have been donated by members.
We have some crazy news for you. Former President Barack Obama just might become president again.
But in France.
France doesn't have the same rules that we do to be the U.S. To be president, Barack Obama just has to be naturalized.
Which means okayed by the French government.
Because of the scandalous surroundings their current presidential frontrunner,
Marine Le Pen,
French citizens are looking for a scandal-free president just like Barack Obama 2 terms ago.
French lawyers said this is not so far-fetched after all. The government is joking about Obama's possible run for president, but it comes from a real outcry of disgust from the possible president. So who knows? Obama, the next president of France?
That's almost as crazy as our weather has been lately, with all these ups and downs in our temperatures. Today is going to be a high 67 with a low of 43. It is fortunately going to be sunny throughout the day.
I hope our weather doesn't get as cold as this story is about to get. The Ice Hotel is the world's first ever hotel built out of snow and ice. It was founded in 1889 and is reborn in a new guise every winter, and it is also just 200 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle in Lapland. The sun never rises above the horizon in the winter, but you do get a couple hours of twilight in the middle of the day. In the middle of the afternoon, the sun has set and it's pitch black all around. The first thing you notice when you take some of your first steps into the ice hotel is the crunching of the snow underneath your boots. They let you sleep in the ice room for one night of your stay, but then recommend you to an actual hotel for the other days.
Now from cold ice hotel to a warm, gooey chocolate. March 18th is National Peanut Cluster Day. Melted chocolate mixed with peanuts make a perfect combination for a sweet and salty dessert. When it comes to making peanut clusters, it is as simple as the name. All there is to do is making a cluster of peanuts and chocolate.
First, a process had to be invented for the cocoa bean to be processed and transformed into what we know now as chocolate. That process wasn't widely used until about the late 1890s. The only thing left to do is add the already available peanuts to the melted chocolate and mix them together. The salty peanuts added to sweetened chocolate is a mouth-watering temptation few can resist even today.
Residents of Compton Heights have been concerned about the speeding going on in their neighborhood and say that it is making the streets more dangerous. The reckless driving has gotten so bad that residents in the neighborhood won't even park their cars in the streets because they have been hit by speeding drivers. Unfortunately, all these warnings about speeding and reckless driving are not to be taken lightly.
59-year-old Bruce Rowley was driving a little too fast down Interstate 55 when he got in an accident that resulted in his death. According to the St. Louis County Police Department, Rowley was alone inside his 1995 GMC Sierra when he lost control and it traveled off the roadway, struck a tree, and overturned. Keep Rowley's family in your prayers as they face one of the hardest weeks of their lives.
Isabel Bumfree was born in New York in 1797. She was born into slavery and experienced violence, sexual abuse, and cruelty from a very young age. In 1826, Bumfree escaped from slavery with her newborn baby. Unfortunately, she was forced to leave her 5-year-old son in slavery.
In 1827, New York outlawed slavery, and when Isabella went back to her son, she found out he was sold to a plantation in Alabama after the emancipation. She took this to court and was the first African-American woman to win a court case against a white man. In 1843, Isabella renamed herself Sojourner Truth. Truth was one of the most influential women of her time. Her work with Frederick Douglass in the abolitionist movement, as well as her work as a suffragist, would help shape our country into what it is today.
Happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. Franklin D. Roosevelt was born on January 30th, 1882 in New York. Roosevelt was elected to be the 32nd President of the United States during his second term as Governor of New York.
Roosevelt attended law school at Columbia University and worked as a clerk for several years in Wall Street firm. In 1910, Roosevelt entered into the world of politics and soon found his love and passion. Also, if you don't have any plans on your calendar, maybe think about putting the Ursuline Robotics Club competition on there. They are competing on Friday and Saturday at the Chaffetz Arena. They are going to be competing against 45 different teams. They will be having to put gears on pegs, launch balls into low and high goal, and even do some rope climbing. It is also going to be open to everyone and parking is free. On that note, come cheer on the girls as they robot their way to the World Championships in April.
And that's all we have for you today. We'd like to thank our team behind the camera, Lily Summers, Olivia Tallow, Chloe Wheeler, and Mrs. Lang. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ava F. Tiv.
And I'm Campbell Kennedy,
reminding you to make the most of your day.